Okay, let's do this video, guys. Just got to run through a whole lot of videos here, so let's do this one. How to locate the energy vampire organic portals connected to you. So what I've realized is, there's several ways to detect where your energy is being sucked from. First and foremost, you'll actually chiropractically need to crack out of it and also hum acoustically out of it like a cat purring. So why cats purr? Because they're getting all of the circulating thoughts off the ganglion nervous system and connected topology, right? So that they can go inward for their little meditation. And the human can do this too, like the om sound, and you put the R in between the O and the M, like a video I put out years ago, to increase the progression into the shaking of the M of the om. So it's not just OM, put the R in the middle and watch what happens when you hit the M. You get more thrown off, more of these topological connections thrown off, or energy ley lines, and in this fashion of this video, this context, energy vampire suckers. So let's get into that more. One way I feel this is by density in an area of my body, right? So where you feel more density than the rest of your body, I've mentioned this before, the lowest vibrating spot. Say you have like a gunk build up somewhere because you've been eating cheese, dairy, sugar, stuff like that, and I don't know, bread even, things clog up, and these all work together to create these little bacterial colonies, which then, that's why people have fat on their body. The colony then just absorbs basically this stuff, and when I've done clearings, I've had like bits of solids come out, and I could tell, oh shit, that was the bread I ate 2 days ago, or that was the ice cream I ate, or that was the hard candy I had coming out at the end, very difficult to get out, because, I'm snotting it out my nose and so on, and you can tell what's what. You can tell like what the soft drink syrup is, because it's not as hard as the hard candy snot when it comes out of you, or mucosa, right? That's what I'm talking about. So yeah, it's interesting, wherever you have like a spot in your body where, you have a gunk spot known as an energy block, or rather I should say, which will turn into an energy block, right? And, these beings, these bacteria, like, they don't like source energy. It burns them up. That's why when I do chi healing and get on things that clear me out, like, I won't say illegal substances, but I think you can already guess, the stuff that makes your nose pour, you can tell what's what in your body. You can tell what the different sugar item is coming out. You can tell, all the food that you ate. And sometimes there's hard bits in there. And some of these nanobacteria, they actually make cadmium shells and stuff. So it's very interesting. This reiterates how the world works too, how they all, like work together in your body, and the viruses, command bacteria, certain bacterial colonies, and, the worms in the gut connect to certain bacterial colonies up in your throat, so that they work together, right, to get their sustenance in a way. But it's more of a control hierarchy than working together, anyway, because the viruses are more like conscious. It's like maybe like the board of a corporate, instead of, the average worker at the bottom doesn't know anything about the corporation, or in this instance, the corpo, the body, right? Because we're talking about bacteria and stuff. So anyway, so how to locate these energy vampires is, feel those dense parts and hum and clear those dense parts, and if there's any organic portals near you, which there always is, there's always one connected to you. Often they'll even cough when they are thrown off your nervous system. And they're unconsciously connecting, remember? So they always think that it's you sending them bad energy because they're ignorant and they don't understand any of this. So they're actually connected to you, and that's why they cough, because, you know, your light, as you get their sucker off you, some of your light goes down their little sucker vampire, ley line sucker, and when it hits them, it expands, you know, their cellular structure and the mucosa. And so that puts tickle in the organic portal's throat, and then you get that cough reaction as you get them off your nervous system. And they're always trying to put you in like a frequency control. You'll find that you get stiffer and stiffer, and it's all about the drain, and your head will cock back. Remember, we've talked about the 2-inch head tilt backwards and the 2-inch head tilt onto the telepathic grid so that they can read your thoughts. So it's basically they start attaching, sucking, and it's not just about sucking your energy out, it's about manipulating your physical body chiropractically into positions and geometrically into position where you'll be stiffened up so that your light can be read. When you're stiff and you're still, your circuitry can be read. Like if you're moving, it's much harder to read your signature or your signatures that they're trying to take. And then eventually your head will cock back. So at the moment where I am, this happens like every night now. And my dreams are going straight to the telepathic grid right now. Every night. So it just is like that. It's a big apartment building. See, this is why when you go out in the woods, when I stayed out in the forests, I would have crazy actual dreams, and they'd be kept to me. And that's why they hunt me so vigorously out there. Every time I stayed in the trees at that beach, up on the mountain there with Oro, on that big mountain recently. You know, I felt no drainage. I felt fantastic, right? And I wasn't even grounding because it was winter both times. So I wasn't even grounding. I just naturally had more negative charge and felt good, not drained, because there was no organic portals there to drain me. And anyway, at the moment, like when I go to sleep, this is happening. I have to like hum and get them off, and I have to put up a chi shield as well. If I don't, I wake up every morning cocked back, 3-inch head tilt, not just 2-inch. And, you know, I know what's happened. I can feel it. Because when I have to like pull my head forward and come back into my body. And so I know my dreams are directly going onto the telepathic hive grid now. So one thing you can do is that, clear the blocks, and if anyone coughs around you or moves or does any bangs and, you know, is trying to maintain your, you know, they'll bang on the wall and shit. So if they're trying to do this, they're trying to frequency control you, like I was saying, so that they can keep reading you. So what you want to do is get up and basically dance and move, and you might have to do that for up to an hour, because they desperately want your connection. They're desperately trying to connect to and get all this information and light out of you. They also will start eating the light in your DNA. I've talked about that before in previous videos. Anyway, the last thing I wanted to say was the way you can locate them is where you're leaning. If you're leaning to the left and back, they can come through physical structure. You know, trees seem to stop them. You'll need like 2 layers thick of trees, like 2 trees and then 360 around you for you to be not sucked. It's interesting because brick walls, it's not the same. You can put many brick walls there. You need like more than 3 to stop it. So it's very interesting. It's like they can tunnel through if there's an electrical ability. So concrete, you don't get anions. Remember, I've talked about that before, why the city is, what did I call it? Visionless. I can't remember what I was talking about in that video, but I've talked about before how, you know, concrete maintains electrical charge, but not the visions, not the higher light, right? So you can't ground properly on concrete. You get a slight negative charge, but you'll notice when you get on the dirt, you get vision again in your third eye. It's because the higher light can channel through. So it's like this. They can channel through anything that's electrically conductive. So trees, you know, wood is not conductive, and the leaves are not so conductive. They've got some water in them, but because the wood of the tree is not conductive, wood, like trees, plus you're grounded, it's the ultimate way to not get energy drained. And if you think this is some kind of like half joke, you really need to try this, because it is 100% massive difference in how you feel. You know how you get that feeling you wake up in the morning, you don't feel slept, you don't feel slept and good and painless. You feel in pain and drained. That's what I'm talking about. You do not get that out in the forest if there's no organic portals around you. So anyway, just like check where you're leaning. Say you're doing something online, you're reading or something, you start leaning a certain direction. It's because someone's sucking you that way.